In this video, we're going to be working through steps 1 through 6 of Activity 1.3.4 CAD modeling skills, and we're going to get started by creating a new active project for this activity. We'll go ahead and go over here to the active project pane and select settings. We're going to create a new active project, a single user project. Select next. Project name, we'll call this CAD modeling skills. And for our location, for our folder, we might want to go to Documents. This is where I have my PLTW IED folder. And inside of this folder, I'm going to make a new folder. Notice how I didn't quite have that selected. So let me actually select that PLTW IED folder first, and then make a new folder. And now I can go ahead and put in Activity 134 CAD modeling skills. Select that folder and then say OK. And we're going to notice that there's the file path that it's going to go to. Go ahead and select Finish. Notice how this becomes the active project now. I can select Done, and I don't have any files there yet because I haven't kind of created anything for this particular file. Once I have the active project created, let's go ahead and select New. And I'm going to choose a standard IPT file and select Create. The first 6 steps are going to have us kind of drawing kind of like a plate, and then we're going to add some polygons and be using the polygon tool to make that happen. To start that off, I'm going to go ahead and select Start 2D Sketch. I'm going to select the XY plane. Underneath the rectangle tool, I'm going to click the little drop down and select a 2-point center rectangle. I'm going to select the origin as the center, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw out, and I can go ahead and dimension. The width of this is going to be 6 inches. If I need to zoom out just to get this to fit on the screen, that will be fine. The height of this is going to be 4 inches. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that tool, and we can always kind of reposition these dimensions. Now, with one of the things that we have to do as well is that before we get drawing too far, I'm actually going to take a line tool, and I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint of the top line, cross through the origin, and go down to the midpoint of the bottom line. You're going to notice that this is going to be fully constrained, and actually I'm going to go ahead and cancel drawing lines. And I'm going to right click on this line and choose Construction. So that's going to now create our kind of guidelines that we see a lot of times in the image. We're going to start off by drawing with the polygon tool. I'm going to click the drop down on rectangle and choose the polygon tool. We're going to go ahead and utilize either we've got inscribed or circumscribed as our options, and then what are the number of sides that we want to have in this. So I'm actually going to choose the second icon, the circumscribed polygon. For this one, we want 5 sides for a pentagon. And I'm going to go over here first, and I'm going to kind of stay in this area away from the lines and just click. And you're going to see that it's going to have me draw a polygon here. So I'm actually going to click to place it. And I'm going to select Done once I have it. Now, as far as this goes, I can add in a few constraints to kind of help us out here a little bit. One of the things that you're going to see is if I click Dimension, is if I end up having, one of the things to kind of help us out is Inventor is a little different from some other software packages to where, just some little nuances. And one of the things that usually we always have to do is, just like here and others, we're going to go ahead and grab that horizontal constraint and click the bottom line for that polygon. Now, one thing I am going to do just to make this a little bit easier is I'm actually going to go up and grab a center point circle, select the center of the polygon, and then go out to the outside corner, which either point will give me what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to pick this top one. I'm going to select OK. I'm actually going to right click on the circle and turn that into a construction circle. And that way when I go to dimension, I'm going to select the circle, and it says to have a radius of 0.35. That would be a diameter of 0.7. So I'm actually going to change that diameter of that circle to 0.7. And you're going to notice the polygon had to go with it because it's also constrained to the endpoints. So this is a circumscribed polygon, meaning we got a circle around the outside of the polygon that passes or touches the points that we have. The other thing that we're going to take a look at is I'm going to actually do a coincident constraint with the center of this polygon and go over here to this vertical line that we drew in. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to dimension from the origin to the bottom of the line, and that's going to have a measurement of 0.5. And you're going to notice that there my polygon now changed colors. We're reading as fully constrained. We've got the measurements we need in there, just like how we do on the graphic. Very similar to what we did here. I'm going to move up here to the upper right hand corner. We're going to choose the polygon command. We're going to go with inscribed, and we're going to go with 6 sides for this one. We're going to create a hexagon. Same kind of thing. I'm going to draw this out. You can see how it kind of draws in. I'm going to do a very similar process. I'm going to go and select done by taking a circle and to do an inscribed shape, meaning that I'm actually going to click and I'm going to draw out until I touch the lines on the inside of there. So you can see now this is what an inscribed shape looks like. Circles drawn on the inside, circumscribed circles drawn on the outside. So what we're going to do here, same kind of thing. I'll stop drawing a circle. I'm going to right click on it on the circle, make it a construction circle, and they want this radius to be 0.25, or we'll make this at 0.5. So that way that updates. That's pretty close with my drawing, so that works out pretty well. I'm going to utilize that horizontal constraint. I'm going to grab the top line of the polygon just to make sure that it stays horizontal. And some other things too is I'll coincident the center point of the circle to this diagonal line. And then I'm actually going to grab the dimension tool, select the top edge of the polygon, and we're going to make that at 0.5. And we're going to right click and say OK. So right now it says that we've got one dimension still needed. I'm not really sure what we're looking for here as far as some of those measurements. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and look at, hey, let's show all degrees of freedom. And it looks like to me, we've got just a little bit of some movement that could kind of happen. Looks like right here. Okay, so looks like when I drew the circle is it didn't really go tangent to the side. So I'm actually going to turn that show degrees of freedom off. Let's go ahead and utilize the tangent constraint, grab one of the sides of the hexagon and select the circle. When I do that, now that's going to fully constrain that circle. So, and everything's going to be good. And the polygon as well. We'll go ahead and move down here to the bottom right hand corner. We're going to use the polygon tool. Doesn't really matter which one that we're looking for. I'm just going to go ahead and go with an inscribed. We're going to go with 3 for our number of sides. I'm going to go ahead and click and draw. Here is where the point is going to be kind of like there for our triangle. I'll select done. This one here, it's going to be pretty easy. They want an edge length of 1.25. We're going to place the center point coincident with the diagonal line. We're going to place this point coincident with this corner, and you're going to see that all of these are going to actually, it automatically applies a equal constraint to all of them. If we want to double check, I can see on the dimensions that and actually we may want to back this up here, so go ahead and hit control. I'm going to hit control Z here. One of the things we might want to do is grab the equal constraint, select this line and select this line. So notice it'll say that we're going to over constrain the sketch. Same thing here and here. So maybe with a polygon we're not going to maybe get that equilateral triangle, because when I click on dimension, we're going to see if I can pull this aligned dimension here. It's not quite what we're looking for. And see if I can pull this dimension here. It's pretty close. So I think it's going to be as close as what we're going to get it to. So, and I think it works pretty well. So I'm actually going to just say OK. But just to let you know, some of the, let me delete that one. Let's go ahead and go coincident again. Choose this point, choose this corner. And I think everything is going to look pretty good right there. And it actually looks pretty similar to the image that we have going on. I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch. I'm going to zoom out here. So I have to finish the sketch. I'm going to select save. We're going to call this activity 134, steps 1 through 6, and go ahead and click the save button here. In the next video, we'll take a look at making some of the modifications like patterning, and then also using project and offset to do some of the options to create the plate that we look for in steps 7 through 13.